So we're going to do another VLOOKUP, and we always start our formulas with an equals, so we go equals, and we're going to check first of all to see if B7 is blank, so we go if open bracket is blank open bracket and choose the cell B7, close that bracket and comma. So if that is blank, then we want two quotations, which means that we don't want any text to appear in this cell, comma, and then we want to start a VLOOKUP. So we go VLOOKUP, open bracket, and we want to look up a value. The value we want to look up is B7, comma, in the table array, which is this table down here, which we called convert degrees, so on, comma, and then we look up the index, which is the column. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We want this text to appear, so it's number 7 in the index, comma, and false, because we want to see an exact match. Close our bracket and press enter. If you get an error message like this, usually Excel will fix it for us. So yes, I've left an extra bracket off, and that's okay. You can just press yes, and that will be fine. So let's go and look at that equation again, because it's quite long. We're saying if this cell B7 is blank, so this cell here, if it is blank, then we don't want any text to appear in this cell. If that is not if it's not blank, then we want to do a lookup. We want to check first of all the value in B7. We want to look it up in this table array, so that's looking up that value in this first index of this table. Then we're going to go across to column 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to show that value, and we only want to show the exact value, so we press enter. Now what we can do as a shortcut is we can copy this, right click copy, and paste this formula in here. So we'll paste that in there. Let's go in and have a look at it. So first of all, we're going to check to see if it's blank. We want B7 to see if that is blank, and it doesn't matter if you use capitals or lower cases. Then we want to look up B7 to see if there is a value there. Look up that value in our table array, and then we want to show the value that is in index 9, which is this column here, and press enter. So let's make sure that all of this works. We'll choose a column. Let's say convert gallons to litres. Now it's showing gallons to litres. We haven't put a value in here yet, so let's say 5 gallons, and it's saying that input of 5 gallons is 18.92 and so on litres. Now we can format this so it's only to 2 decimal places, which is probably a good idea at this stage. So we'll go up to the home ribbon, and we will lessen the number of decimal places to 2 decimal places like that. And we're almost finished. We're on the home run now. We need to tidy up this and make it look more presentable. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually hide all this text on the bottom, because we don't need to be able to see it. So we select row 10 first, just clicking on 10. Leave your left mouse button on that row and drag it down. Then we right click and select hide. So our table's still working, but we can't see all those formulas, and we don't need to. Now I'm going to adjust our columns so that everything fits in there neatly. Make sure we're going to have enough word room for our conversion, these names here. And if you like the text a little bit bigger, we can do that too. So we'll start with our main heading here, and we'll select that cell, and we're going to center it over the table like so. So we're going to select all of these cells, and we'll come up to our home ribbon across the merge and center, and then we'll make that text larger. So we'll just click on that until it gets larger. About there, looks pretty good. We'll do the same with your name underneath. Select it, merge and center, make it a little bit larger, and we could maybe make that italic, and maybe even change the color of it. And I might even change the color of this one as well. Here we are. Now these headings also need to be tidied up, so we'll select those rows and we will center them, center align them horizontally and vertically, and we'll make them larger as well. And we can also make them italic, can change the color of them as well. The next step is we'll probably center these, so you can hold the control key down to select both of those and center them. Now these last finishing touches are entirely up to you because it's your conversion utility that you're creating here. I might just drag that over a little bit more, it looks a little bit neater, and I might change the text of this as well. So we'll change the size of that. It's looking pretty good. And then finally I'll add a little bit of colour to this. So I'll select the range, say that amount of range, and I will right click, format cells, and I'll choose a fill colour that I like. So that's how I like the yellow. Okay, and I like that, but I want to change these backgrounds to white, so holding the control key while I select each of those, again right click, format cells, and I'll make those white and click OK. That's looking pretty good. It doesn't look quite centered. I'm going to move that over a little bit. That looks a bit better. I might separate that a bit more too. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is put a border around this. So we go right click, format cells, border, bold border, or indeed you could choose another border, even bolder again, and you could put a different color around it, for example, and then select bold and go OK. And I could put another color around here, so let's insert another row there and another row here, column I should say there. That brings it over, could bring it down. I'm doing this fairly fast, but you can pause this at any time, of course. And the next thing I want to do is I will get rid of all my lines. So I will go to View on my ribbon, get rid of the grid lines. I don't need to see all these headings anymore either, so I can get rid of my headings and I can get rid of my formula bar. And then finally, the last thing I might like to do is to protect some cells. So we need the user to be able to select these cells and to type into this cell, but we don't want them changing anything else in our spreadsheet. So select the first cell, hold down your control key, hold the second one, right click, and then go to Format Cells. And in here there is a tab that we haven't looked at yet, Protection, and I want you to unlock them. So get rid of that lock and go OK. Now finally we're going to go up to the Review ribbon and we're going to protect this worksheet. So we click on that, and you need to get rid of this first tick, select locked cells. So what we're saying is we don't want the user to be able to select any of these cells that have been locked, because we don't want them to delete any formula accidentally. So you can put in a password, but I recommend you don't, because you're liable, you could forget it and then you wouldn't be able to do anything with this. So then we go OK. It is now locked and we can hide our ribbon. So we right click on our ribbon, go minimize ribbon, and that is looking pretty good. If I zoom in like that, got a pretty good looking utility for converting. And let's just do a test on it. Let's check. Let's say convert inches to feet, and we'll say 1 inch is 0.08 of a foot. How about feet to inches? 1 foot is 12 inches. And if you've got this far, congratulations, you've done very well. I'll see you next time.